guys, my name is Landon. Today I'm bringing you guys another video, and today we got some pretty interesting news to talk about. We got some relegation roster mania. If you guys don't know, we talked a little bit about the relegation tournament, which is causing all of these changes, all of these trades. We got a lot of stuff going down. I definitely did not expect all this stuff to happen, but we're gonna be covering every single thing that happened. So if you guys are curious, you guys have any wonders about what could have happened, this is the video for you. But I'm gonna be going in order what happened. I'm gonna give you guys the full analysis of what went down. So let's get right into the video. So it started off as any normal day. Every team just kind of minding their own business. We got the relegation tournament coming up. No big deal, nothing to worry about. We got until the 26th at 5 Eastern. We got plenty of time, but someone just had to go and start it off, and it was none other than Octane. Octane announced he's leaving Justice. Justice, you know what they're thinking of their minds? Not a big deal. We got 3 other players. We got Study, we got Merc, and we got TCM, but not for long. So as soon as Octane announces he's leaving Justice, it's announced that he's joining Prophecy in place of Nagafen. So Nagafen currently now a free agent, while Octane joins the lineup of Prophecy. So everything's all fine and dandy on Prophecy. We got the whole lineup. We got the addition of Octane. Let's get it, man. But no. FaZe Black comes into the entire pool type of area, and Octane, Apathy, and Aqua announced they're leaving Prophecy, and we're going over to FaZe Black. And that was actually what my last video was about. We got to that far, and we were like, what is this FaZe Black team gonna do? Now they have Censor on their squad. What does this mean? Well, pretty funny story actually. Octane, Apathy, and Aqua. Let's go back to Prophecy. Why? Let's just, we're gonna go to we're gonna go to FaZe Black. We're gonna go back to Prof. Not a big deal. And I was thinking in my last video, if you guys didn't watch my last video, if you guys want to watch that, kind of explains things a little bit better. I'll put a link to that in the description and whatnot. But I was thinking, like, what can Patrick Price pull off? What can Aches do? He's gonna have 3 other teammates. He's so smart. He just grabs them back. He's like, guys, come over here. No need to mess with Censor over on FaZe Black. You got me. Nothing to worry about. Let's just go back over to Prophecy. Everything will be fine. That's what happens. Octane, Apathy, and Aqua return back to Prophecy along with Aches. That team is locked in officially for the relegation tournament, and that was like one of the first teams that really announced something to go down. So all of that went down in like a day. All of that went down in a day. Everyone was like, oh, they're on FaZe Black, now they're on Prophecy. I don't know what happened, why that happened, but it is Octane, Apathy, and Aqua along with Aches over on Prophecy now. So now into today's news. We started off today with wondering what's going to go on with Optic Nation. What are they going to do today? And they decided, we're going to release Killa. Whether or not you guys think that's a good idea or not, they ended up picking up Mochila for the Season 3 regulation. They have not said that they're going to play with him further on, and they can trade, they could make different trades here or there, but a lot of drama went down. Killa kind of took it pretty easily off the bat. He was like, you know what, it's alright. It just wasn't working. While I didn't like the opportunity why it happened, he kind of respected it. Later, we got in some pretty interesting conversations, but I'm not going to show those because I had to bleep out a lot of stuff on the screen, but it turns out Mochila will be playing with Optic Nation for the Season 3 relegation tournament, which is what we're going to be talking about while all these trades are being happened. So now, Optic Mochila, at least for the current point in time. Killa now a free agent. But now, next coming up was actually Orbit. They decided to go and release Lawless from their lineup, and they decided to add... Actually, I was going to tell you guys the roster. The roster for Orbit will now be consisting of Burnsoff from Automatic Reload. Decided to leave that team. To me, that was a smart move. I'll leave you guys to that in the comments. But Orbit's roster is now going to be containing Burns, Accuracy, Happy, and Facento. I like this team. I like this team a lot. I think, honestly, the transition of Burns for Lawless is a good one. Burns can really do just about everything. He can do the objective work, he can slay, he can do a lot of different things. I like this roster a lot. I think this is one of the rosters that actually got better through the relegation tournament. Next, we got some pretty interesting stuff. Now, the stuff we didn't mention before wasn't interesting, but now we got Epsilon announcing that they're coming over to the US to try to compete for Season 3. Obviously, the relegation tournament means that you're coming over to the US to try to compete. I should have probably told you guys before, but I'll go and tell you guys now. Basically, how the relegation tournament works is that they're going to choose 8 teams from pro points total. So if you guys have the most pro points, you email it to MLG. They'll say, all right, we got the top 8 pro points. These guys are going to be in the tournament at MLG Columbus. I can tell you guys the date in just a second, but they also are going to have the bottom 4 teams from Season 2. We already know who those are. So we get the 4 and 8, which means 12, but there's supposed to be 16 teams. How did the other 4 get there? Well, there's going to be a major tournament held Thursday, which is... when we'll be leaving. But Thursday, they're going to be holding that, and the top 4 teams from that tournament are going to be put in this 16 teams pool, and they're going to be competing at MLG Columbus. And the tournament for the relegation tournament is going to be held on June 19th through the 21st. That's going to be a major tournament. Top 4 teams from that tournament will move on, obviously, to Season 3, along with the top 8 other teams. So, with that in mind, I'm sorry I had to get that out of the way. I don't know why I didn't say that at first, but I should have. Anyway, Epsilon announces that they're going to be heading over to the North Americas, the American scene, I'm not really sure, with the roster of Remy, Nagafin, Swanee, and Royalty. So Swanee coming from across the pond back over to the United States to play with Remy and Nagafin. Remy, I think he was on like a sub for AR at the time, and I'm not really sure what's going on with AR. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that in a little bit. But Nagafin, no longer a free agent, now on this Epsilon roster. Royalty, no one really knows who Royalty is. I haven't heard a whole lot about him. I've heard he's a Don. He could be possibly a top 10 player from what I've heard from a lot of people's talks and mentions about him. So I think this Epsilon team can be very good. I think that this team has a lot of potential to do well, and if I'm going to pick a team, I definitely might have them in my talk, to go to this, the relegation tournament and actually do well at it. Next news we got was actually not really brought up by a whole lot of people, but Team Revenge, or TR, has announced that they're going to be taking a break from Call of Duty Esports. Kind of unfortunate. Obviously, a lot of their players are having, homes on teams and whatnot. We've even seen half of them over on Epsilon. They have some other places as well. Kind of unfortunate for TR. I know Pittsburgh pretty well, and he's obviously the owner of Team Revenge and whatnot. Kind of unfortunate, there's just some teams that are going to make it out poorly. There's some teams that are going to make it out, great after certain, roster mania and whatnot occurs. And it's kind of unfortunate to see a team like that have to take a break. But they said they're going to be coming back. They're going to be coming back stronger than ever. So I'm definitely going to be looking at them, to make a run at it, at least in the next title, or maybe in the future, of Advanced Warfare. We might see them come back in the next couple of months. So next is Strictly Business. Now, if you guys didn't know, SB kind of lost their roster to VVV, and we'll be talking about VVV in a second because they also made some changes. But SB got rid of their roster, headed them over to VVV Gaming. Obviously, VVV made the return at UMG Cali, but Strictly Business announced their own roster consisting of TCM, Spacely, Anticity, and Study. Anticity was actually a free agent. Study coming from Justice, TCM coming from Justice, and I believe Spacely was also on automatic reload. So all of their players on Justice and now AR are gone. None of them ever were there. Anticity, I believe, got dropped from AR right before the Pro League ended. I think Remy filled in for him for a little bit, but now SB has a solid roster for this relegation tournament. Do I like this team? It's okay. TCM has been known to slay pretty well. Spacely hasn't had the game of his life, to say the least. Anticity's a pretty good slayer at times. I guess you could say he's kind of inconsistent. Study can go off, or Study can do terrible. It's either one or the other. You're not really sure what Study you're going to get. So this team on full force, I think, can make a run in this relegation tournament. However, I'm not sure how good they're going to do. SB they're all known players. They're all known, well-known talent. They've proved themselves in the past. It's just, can they do it on a very, very big stage all at one time? And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that or not. Next, and we're almost done. We're getting to the end, but we're not done yet. So actually, XGN and Automatic Reload announced that they're going to be combining for this relegation tournament. Obviously, AR has a spot guaranteed since they were in the bottom 4 teams in this relegation tournament. They're, keep in mind, Automatic Reload, Justice, Optic Nation, and Prophecy all have a guaranteed spot to go to MLG Columbus on June 19th through the 21st. So all 4 of those teams have a guaranteed spot to go to this tournament coming up. So I want you guys to know that. It's not, hopefully we can make it. They have a guaranteed spot. So XGN and AR basically combining. I think XGN's team, but they're just giving, AR is just giving them their spot. Announced that their roster will be consisting of Merc, Lawless, Felony, and BL Fire. We obviously talked about Lawless getting dropped a little bit earlier. Merc was actually previously on Justice. Felony, I think Felony might have been on this team, and BL Fire, I'm not really sure about those 2 guys, but as far as this team goes, this was definitely a rush team. This is what I like to call a relegation rush team, or a rush relegation squad. That they put this team together purely for the relegation, tournament. Which obviously half of these rosters, or 90% of these rosters, are doing it for that reason. But this team kind of waited a little bit too long, or kind of got the scraps, I guess you could say. In a sense, I'm not saying that any of these players deserve to be called scraps. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying these guys got the guys who were left over, who weren't necessarily picked up today. So this next thing we're going to be talking about is very, very interesting. It's very drama-filled, besides the Optic Nation and Killa incident. But I'm going to be talking about this a little bit. I'm going to be kind of talking about this farther than how rosters go. So I want to say like five or 6 minutes before the relegation period ended. If you guys didn't know, at 5 o'clock Eastern time for my time, because I'm in the Central Time Zone, that's whenever you cannot submit another team for this relegation tournament. By that time, you either have to have submitted it, or your team's not going to be qualified for it. You have no opportunity to go to it. So VVV, 5 minutes left before this relegation tournament ends, they decide to drop Sinful, and obviously Killa, being a free agent, they decided to add him to this roster. So VVV announced their new roster will be consisting of none other than Twiz, Fizzerp, Killa, and John. So I'm kind of talking about this not in an exciting tone, for the fact that Sinful, honestly, he got screwed over. He got screwed over in the fact that it would be different if he had, let's say, a day, 2 days, I wouldn't say a month, because obviously they didn't really know. You could say, well, if VVV didn't know that Killa was going to be a free agent, they didn't know he was going to be available. Still, it's not proper. It is not proper owner dedicate, or it does not make you look like a good organization if you're going to drop your player 5 minutes before the relegation tournament ends. You pick up someone, great. What happened to my other teammate or my other, member of my squad? Sorry, man. I'm sorry. We had to roll with this team. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, screw you out of an opportunity to play on a really big stage. I'm sorry, man. It's my bad. It's my bad. I didn't mean to do that. No, that's not at all proper etiquette of how to deal with certain players at certain times. These guys make a living off of this. These guys make a living off of what teams they're on. If they can get in the Pro League. Getting in the Pro League for some of these players, you guys might not think about this way. This is like life for them. This is like the biggest opportunity that they can have. These guys who are barely getting in the Pro League, these guys who are, getting on these teams, this is literally like, this is how they make money. This is how they like survive in the world. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but some of these guys, like Sinful, for instance, I don't know if he has a stable job. I don't know if, he has anything. I don't know, but that could have been his money for the rest of the year or the rest of, this summer. I don't know, but I would have really wished that they would have took that more into consideration. We cannot have stuff happening like this. So I didn't mean to go off on a rant. That's just how I feel about it. So one of the last things that actually happened in Roster Mania for the relegation is Synergy have announced their roster, and that will be consisting of Ivy, Legal, Pac-Man, and Miyagi. Pac-Man obviously got dropped off of XGN. I believe Ivy and Legal were already on the squad. Miyagi was on Ignite, I believe, and I think that was actually his team or something. He decided to go ahead and get off that team. But now Miyagi obviously added to the squad. This is a pretty good team. They're all pretty consistent. Ivy's been very known at times to go off. Legal can be very, very dominant at a certain point in time. So he's obviously on Prophecy for a long time there as well. This squad's pretty good, but I'm not sure how far they can go. And I'm gonna let you guys know something really fast. This is going to be the last thing of roster made that I'm gonna be talking about, and that is what happened to Justice. Now, at this current point in time, Justice has not made an announcement to what is going to come with their roster as a whole. I will put that like right here. If they announce anything, I'm putting it right there. So if I'm editing this video and I see what's going on, I'm putting it right there. If I see it in the the annotations, I'll put an annotation to what happened to the roster right here. So it's not happened yet. I've heard that they're making a roster change. I've heard that they haven't announced it yet. But I want you guys to know that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, guys. It really, really does mean a lot to me. The support that you guys have shown me over the last couple of days. I had like 100 likes on a video that I uploaded like 2 days ago. I got 1,300 views. And if you guys aren't like familiar with me, that's a lot for me. And you guys might be thinking, well, that's not a whole lot. That's not a crazy amount. It's a lot for me. And honestly, it meant the world. Seeing all of you guys, your positive comments, the subscribers that we've gotten have absolutely been rolling in, and it's just been so humbling. It honestly has, and I really can't thank you guys enough for that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. It really does help me out, and I've been looking at rosters just about every single day, or every single, I've been looking at it like 24/7 today. So if you guys would like to, make sure to leave a like. If you guys want to subscribe, I'll be definitely updating you guys on all kinds of roster mania news and all kinds of stuff coming up here in the near future. Once X Games happens, man, we're about to see some crazy stuff go down. Keep in mind, guys, this is just the beginning to what is to come. Half of these rosters, honestly, will not exist after this relegation, after this X Games tournament is over. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, guys. It really, really does mean a lot to me. See you guys later. Have a great day, and peace out.